In-ear monitors, IEMs, CIEMs, what are they? Are they better than normal earphones? Why should I use them? I'm Twistie, and in this video I'm going to explore the world of in-ear monitors, how they work, what they are they noise cancelling, and are they better than normal iPhone earpods? Hang out towards the end and I'm going to cover wired versus wireless, some of the most popular IEMs on the market, and what I use. Let's have a look. One of the biggest challenges being on stage, and I'm finding more and more in the rehearsal studio, is the struggle to hear myself over the rest of the band or the stage noise or the noise coming back from the crowd. It's especially hard to hear yourself over the drums and guitarists fighting with their 100-watt Marshalls at 10 or 11.
Is it any louder?
Well, it's one louder, isn't it? It's not 10.
It's especially hard to hear vocals because normally on a live stage setup, the vocals are projected through the front of house speakers, which are in front of you, not behind you. So trying to hear the through the front of house while you're trying to play over all the rest of the noise is usually quite hard. To counter for this, many venues incorporate stage monitors or wedges, because they look like a wedge of cheese, laid across the front of the stage, projecting sound back towards the band playing on stage. A monitor mix is pushed through those from the front of house engineer, or if it's big enough, a monitor mix engineer. And if you're really lucky, there'll be a custom mix for each performer on the stage. Problem solved, right? Well, being speakers, they're quite bulky on the stage, quite heavy. Usually these days they're powered speakers, so they've got a bit of weight to them. And for every performer, you want at least one wedge. So if you've got 3 in the front and a drummer, that's 4 wedges. Also, the mix that you want, standing on stage right, might be different to the guitarist who's on stage left, and when you go across to shake his hand in the middle of a song, you can't hear yourself anymore. You can only hear what they hear. So depending where you're standing on stage, it could be very muddy or next to useless, and you can't hear yourself or what you were listening to in the mix that you were looking at. So if only you could create a personal mix that you could carry around with you wherever you are on stage, or that trip to the bar during the guitar solo. One of us has done it before, might have been me, just saying. In-ear monitors, or IEMs as they're commonly known, are basically little speaker systems that sit in your ear canals and allow you to hear what's going on. They're a bit like iPods or other commercially made earphones. However, they've got a few characteristics that makes them better as a musician. Firstly, the audio quality. The quality is made to be used for more like audiophile sound, which is above and beyond what you'll find in your earpods. Then you've got noise isolation. So while they're not noise cancelling, they do form a seal in your ear canal which blocks the outside noise to a significant drop in decibel level. This means that what you're listening to will be louder than what the outside noise is, meaning that you are blocking all that loud noise. Normal headphones or earphones that you get with your iPhone or your Google phone or your Samsung, whatever the Samsung is, sorry, Apple guy, tend to leak ambient noise. So as you're playing along, the surrounding noise isn't quite cut out enough, and therefore the overall sound becomes a bit muffled. And as a bass player, what I find is the first thing to go is the bottom end. So you lose that bottom end bass sound out of your ears. The third thing that makes these IEM systems better than normal earphones is the drivers. So think of a driver as a speaker. So when you've got a hi-fi speaker system, if you have one speaker, each of the frequencies is trying to come through that one cone. When you put a woofer and a tweeter, then you've suddenly got the high end going through one cone and the low end going for another. And if you then go up from there and say, I want a low, medium, and a tweeter, then you've got the frequency breakup across those 3. Drivers in in-ear monitors are the same concept. The more drivers you have, the better the frequency is spread through your ear. IEMs versus stage monitors, which is better? Well, while you're still reliant on a sound engineer or someone giving you a personalized mix, that's not going to change. But what you do get with the IEMs over wedges is a significant more amount of convenience and comfort. Incorporating these with a wireless transmitter, the mix will then follow you around the stage as you go. For drummers, a wired pack or a wired system is still valid. And again, if you're a bass player just standing there, hanging out, grooving in the night, not wandering around the stage, then a wired pack could be good for you too. IEMs are lightweight. They fit in your gig bag or in your guitar case rather than taking up room in your car with the rest of your bass gear or bulking out your front of house equipment. But that'll be carried by the singer, right? Surely. Yeah. They're also quite versatile. Whilst you can use them for stage, they're also great for practice or rehearsal rooms. You can also use them on the tour bus, plug them into your iPhone, your iPad, your whatever it is, and you can jam out with them as if they were normal earphones, but with a lot higher quality. Let us know in the comments below if you've already replaced your Wedges with in-ear monitors, or if you're still looking. As great as they are, in-ears still have some challenges. First of which is most notable when you start wearing them, is, as I mentioned before, they block out the surrounding sound and therefore you can't hear anybody else. So you can't hear anyone on the stage trying to talk to you, and you also can't hear the audience giving you feedback. For the latter, quite often bands will put microphones on both sides of the stage facing into the audience, and that will then give that response back through the ears so that you can actually hear the audience over your mix. For the former, with your bandmates on stage, get them to talk into the microphone. It's what it's there for.
La la la, la la la.
Mostly this is going to be during rehearsals, and you can just talk to each other through the mics. On stage, you've probably got some hand signal stuff going on anyway, because trying to yell over Wedges on a stage live is just as hard anyway. Off-the-shelf universal fit in-ears like these Shure SE425s that I use come with a number of different model or size tips to give you a bit of personalized comfort to fit your different ear canal sizes based on various people. However, it is still based on the average human's head, and so they sometimes don't give you the fit that you're looking for. Custom ear molds, on the other hand, are much more comfortable, provide a much better seal and much better quality. However, they also come with a much bigger price tag. So how do you connect them? It's not just the earphones, you also need to have something to produce sound from the mixing desk or the device you're looking for. If you check out my video above, it's got a link to how I've set my HX Stomp as an IEM transmitter, and I plug my in-ear monitors into that. So you've got a mix coming out, you've got things in your ears, but you've got something to plug them into. You've got two choices, wired and wireless. You're looking for effectively a headphone amplifier. Now these can be done, you can get these very cheaply. Behringer make them, Art make them. There's a number of cheap studio type headphone amplifiers. However, from a wired perspective, Behringer also make the P1, which is effectively a stereo in, can be mono or stereo. It has a volume and a left-right balance. These are fantastic for drummers. You can get a stereo in-ear mix coming off the back of that. It's wired, it's got a belt clip. They're relatively cheap. I'll put a link to some from Amazon below. You can check that out. We use these in the studio, and the drummer uses them all the time. It's fantastic. There is a smaller version, the P2, which is the mono version. It's about half the size. I don't have one with me. It's in the studio. It's in the other studio actually, but it's the same type of concept. It's basically just got a volume on and off. These are great. Get the sound through. Alternatively, there's a wireless options. So in the background here, you can see I've got a Mi Pro, which is a really fantastic version of a wireless. Shure makes them, Sennheiser make them. They're rack mounted. They've got great external ears, and the more you pay, the better quality of Wi-Fi reception you get off them. However, for rehearsal rooms and small venues, these XVive U4s are just outstanding. They're only a mono in-ear signal, so you're still getting everything coming through both ears, but you're not getting the panning of left and right. So when the drummer hits the tom, it's coming out the front rather than from the left or the right. When the guitar's playing, they're playing, you can't tell they're on the other side of the stage. But, you know, these are fantastic for their price. Again, I'll put a link below. These are affiliate links, so I will get paid for them, but it won't cost you any more. And they are definitely not sponsoring this episode. So, the magic question, which IEMs are best for a bass player? Well, what I found is the cheaper IEM systems, like the Shure SE215, which a number of singers and guitarists rave about, are really good and they're relatively cheaply priced. However, they have a single driver. And as we talked about before, the number of drivers means the better frequency response you're going to get in your ear. So as a bass player, you want to try and get a headphone which is a minimum of 2 drivers. The reason I really like these Shure 425s is they have 2 drivers. You can go up, the 535 has 3 drivers. Again, you'll get a better, broader sound. And the 8, whatever the 8 model is, has got something like 6 or 8 drivers in it. And as an audiophile, if you're really wanting to get that great sound sitting on the tour bus, listening to some stuff, they're awesome. But for live use, a 2-driver headphone is not too bad. And for the price, I find them really, really comfortable and lightweight and great. In fact, I've moved over to some customs, which I'll show you in a sec. And so, because I like these so much, I bought the Bluetooth transmitter, and I now use these as my primary listening for my iPad. With the customs, you get a much broader range of options. Again, they're more expensive. There's the ear molding. A number of companies will include the molding as part of your purchase price, or effectively free, to get you into them. I went to NAMM in 2019. I was lucky enough to be in Nashville, and I went around NAMM and I tried out all of the various brands, and there were some awesome ones. You know, Audio 64 Audio makes some outstanding in-ear monitors. But I found this set through a company called Perfect Seal. They're great for, these are an 8-driver set, so there are effectively 8 little speakers in each ear. This gives me a fantastic bass bottom end tone, and I get a great mix across the board for both live use and studio use. For the price of these, I think they retail for about $900 US. The 8-driver was half the price of their competitors. However, as I said, it comes down to what you want to buy, the range of the speakers, etc., etc. So, but I fully recommend Perfect Seal. And no, I'm not affiliated, or are they sponsoring. Talking about drivers, there are 2 different types of drivers that you'll see advertised on the packaging. There are dynamic drivers and balanced armature drivers. Balanced armature create a far more accurate and more responsive sound, like in my Perfect Seals, which again are great if you're an audiophile or you're in the studio versus live. However, as a bass player, again, if your purpose of these is for live use over studio use predominantly, or for something you can use in the studio or the rehearsal studio to quieten the noise of the whining guitarist, the drummer, the surrounding sounds, then, as I said, a 2-driver in-ear monitor, universal seal will suit you perfectly. So what do I use and what do I recommend? I've used a number over the years. I've used the Sennheiser wireless transmitters and the in-ear monitors, and the transmitters are fantastic. I personally didn't get along with the in-ear monitors. I found the connections a little bit dicey. The Shure in-ear monitors are fantastic for the price and the range. They're great. The cables are replaceable. The connectors are replaceable. So I use them. As I said, they're now my backup set, and I use them for my iPad on the bus. I had the opportunity to change over to custom in-ear molding, and so I use the Perfect Seals. Again, try multiple brands. I'm going to list a number of the most popular brands below. Westone, Perfect Seal, 64 Audio. All of these brands are fantastic, and most of them make both a cheaper universal fit or a high-end custom fit. So you can get the same mix from both of the high-end brands if that's what you're looking for. From a transmitter perspective, as I said, I started using the rack unit with the Mi Pro. There's a newer version out of that now with a better frequency range. Again, if you are a big gig performer and you're looking at big stages, you're looking at something like the Mi Pro, the Shure, the Sennheiser with the remote ears, with the remote antennas and all that sort of stuff at a band level. They are much better. But again, for the club type gigs and the rehearsal studio, you just can't go past these XV4s. They're just great. You plug the transmitter straight into the desk as if it was a microphone, and then you turn it on, plug your ears into it. They're great. Really lightweight. They're rechargeable. I can't say enough about them. And no, I don't get sponsored by them, but there's a link below for an affiliate link. Also, with most of the brands, including the XV, they come in packs. So if you're looking for a single transmitter with multiple receiver packs, you can get a 1, 2, or 4, and in some cases 6 receivers on the same transmitter. The limiting factor of that is, remember, one transmitter means one mix, so everyone's sharing the same mix. So if you're in a band and you're looking to reduce cost, I would probably recommend a minimum of 2 mixes. Now on a stereo unit like the Mi Pro, then you can have left going one mix and right going the other mix, so you can get 2 off that. But generally speaking, one transmitter is one mix, and therefore share it. So, the drummer and the bass player could probably share. The singer would need their own, clearly. And the guitarist, who cares? Thanks for watching in again. Remember, if you haven't already, please like the video, subscribe to the channel. It really helps. Again, there's some affiliate links below. It won't cost you any more, but it does help me. And leave some comments below. I really enjoy feeding back and finding out what's going on. Do you use them? Which do you prefer? And have you gone between the universal and the custom fit? What are you finding best? Thanks very much for watching. Catch you in the next one. See ya.